Move it to this way.
Did we decide already?
No, no, no.
Oh.
You don't need this anymore, right?
Okay, did we decide? No, no, please decide. Wow! Did you make it yourself? Oh, no. You learned it, but you learned it. Mataji made it? She taught it. Okay, okay. Wow, very nice. Amazing. So yes, so this was the whole Leela, right? Everybody remembers it now? So Krishna lifted Govardhan to save all the Vrajvasis from the torrential downpour, the rains that Indra sent out of his false pride. He was trying to destroy the Vrindavan and the Vrajvasis and destroy the yajnas, the offerings. He wanted the offerings for himself. He couldn't tolerate that they were being given to somebody else, to Govardhan. So Krishna is the only shelter for Vrajvasis. So Vrajvasis turned to Krishna for complete dependence on them. And so Krishna protected them. He lifted the Govardhan, Giriraj Govardhan, as you can see, for 7 days and 7 nights. And underneath the Govardhan, there was a lot of beautiful, intimate pastimes happening. And each Vrajvasi was thinking that Krishna is only interacting with me. Krishna is only talking to me or playing flute for me or only looking at me. So it's very, very nice. Beautiful, exchanges were going on under the Govardhan. So that was the Govardhan Leela. But today I wanted to take you on Govardhan Parikrama. Who here has been to Govardhan? Okay, wow, very bold, very nice. And has done Parikrama? Okay, so some of you that have been there, you would relish some of these spots that I'll take you through. Okay, the places of pastimes of Radha, Krishna, and Gopis and Gopals. And some of you that have not gone there, hopefully you'll be inspired, and hopefully now the mercy will come to go there. So let's go on this parikrama together. Okay, we recently went. We went before also, but this was a perfect time to review the Govardhan Parikrama. It's a very, very merciful place, very auspicious, very full of blessings, full of Krishna prema. So I hope that you feel some of that today. So let's say some prayers. We'll say Mangala Charan very quick. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapakamlam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Satam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Shri Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So let's say this mantra. This is a pranam mantra for Giriraj Govardhan. Please say it. We can say it together. Namaste Girirajaya Shri Govardhan Namine Ashesha Klesha Nashanaya Paramananda Dayine. So with that prayer to Govardhan, let's start the parikrama. Before we start the Parikrama, let's talk a little bit more about Govardhan. So let's talk about what is the identity or what is the position of Giriraj Govardhan. So it looks just like it's a mountain, right? But what's so special about it? Can anybody say some things? What is so special about it? Okay, it gave food, so it was giving grass. That was the pasturing grounds for the calves and the cows, right? Which means what? It was serving the devotees, right? So, which means Govardhan is what? A servant of Krishna, right? So, people that serve the servants or the devotees of Krishna are a servant of Krishna as well, right? So, he is called a Haridas. He's a servant of Krishna. But also, let me tell you how Giriraj Govardhan manifested in the spiritual world. So a long time ago, in spiritual world, Radharani asked Krishna that she wanted a very beautiful, very comfortable and very scenic place for their pastimes, for their exchanges. Something that is full of natural beauty, where there is a lot of green grass and lush trees and flowering trees and fruits and waterfalls and springs and various types of water bodies and whatnot. So she said, can you bring such a place in Vrindavan, in Golok Vrindavan, where we can have these type of nice exchanges? There may be caves there, groves of trees where we can escape, and you can play with your cowherd friends also there, and you can play with gopis also, and you can play your flute there, and cows and calves can be grazing in the grass. Something that will serve everyone. So then it's described that from Krishna's heart, a seed dropped. Okay. And that seed kept expanding and it expanded into this huge, this mammoth mountain, which is called Giriraj Govardhan. So then they started having all these beautiful pastimes here. And when Krishna and Radharani and all their associates came to the Bhom Vrindavan, Bhom means to the Vrindavan in this material world, Radharani wanted Govardhan to come there as well. So this Giriraj Govardhan is an expansion from the Govardhan in the spiritual world. She wanted Kalindi Yamuna to be there. She wanted all the various associates, Raj Dham to be there, Govardhan Dham, everything to be there. So since Govardhan came from the heart of Krishna, it is also non-different from Krishna. So actually, Govardhan has three identities. Okay. One is that it is non-different from Krishna. So some people, in some traditions actually, Krishna, Govardhan is worshipped as Krishna. Okay, so that's why when we feed Govardhan, it's basically feeding Krishna. So Govardhan is identical to Krishna. More importantly, we in our tradition, but also in many other traditions, we worship Govardhan as Haridas or as servant of Krishna, so as a devotee. So it is both Krishna and it is a devotee. That is the beauty of Giriraj Govardhan. It is Krishna and at the same time it is also a devotee. So like Prabhuji mentioned here that he serves. So he serves everyone so wonderfully, so beautifully that he is described by none other than Srimati Radharani as the topmost servant of Krishna. So if you see this verse comes in the chapter 21 of 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. That chapter is basically Venu Geet or the song of the flute, Krishna's flute. So in that song, they sing the glories of Giriraj Govardhan and they describe him as the topmost servant of Krishna. So let me recite this verse to you and you can read the translation here meanwhile. They say, Hantayamardrirabala Haridasavarya Yad Ram Krishna Charana Sparsha Pramoda Manam Tanoti Sahago Ganayostayoryat Aniya Suvasaya Kandara Kandamulai. So they describe all the things that Govardhan does for Krishna and his devotees. And you know that Krishna is very pleased when somebody serves his devotees, right? That's why we are described as servants of the servants of the servants of the Lord, right? So since Giriraj Govardhan serves so many servants and such wonderful servants, the gopis, the gopas, they're the topmost servants of Krishna. So since they are so beautifully served by Giriraj Govardhan, he is considered by those same servants to be the best servant of Krishna. So in this verse, they say Haridas Varya. So they give this designation, this upadhi to Giriraj Govardhan that he's the topmost servant of Krishna. He's Haridas Varya. There are actually a total of 3 Haridas Varyas described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Does anyone know? Maybe yes.
So, Uddhavji and then Yudhishthira.
So Uddhavji, Yudhishthir Maharaj, and Giriraj Govardhan. Yeah, so in spiritual, in material world, at one time only one person can be topmost, right? But in spiritual world, many people can have the same designation, and in different moods they can be serving Krishna. So Uddhavji is considered topmost, Yudhishthir Maharaj is considered the topmost servant, and Giriraj Govardhan. So 3 Haridas Varyas are described. But in this particular verse in Venu Geet, Srimati Radharani and gopis are glorifying Giriraj Govardhan as the topmost servant, the Haridas Varya of the Lord. So, and then the third designation of Govardhan is that it is a dham, right? So it's Krishna, it's the devotee, and it's also a dham. Now, there is a beautiful book, and some of you have read this book. It's called Nectar of Instruction or Upadeshamrit. In that book, one of our acharyas, actually not one of our acharyas, but actually the main acharya of our tradition, his name is Srila Rup Goswami, he mentions the hierarchy of various dhams. Okay, so he says there are only 11 verses in that book. So we probably have that book here if anybody wants to read. It's a very quick read, but it takes you from the very basic level of sense and mind control. We are at that level right now, right? We're just struggling with our senses and mind for now. But it takes you from that level to the level of Srimati Radharani, to the level of Giriraj Govardhan, to the level of Radharani's Kunda, Radharani's water body or the water pond on Govardhan called Radha Kund. And we will go there today during the Parikrama. So in that particular book with 11 verses, in the verse 9, Srila Rup Goswami says that amongst all the spiritual abodes, amongst all the dhams of Krishna, Mathura has some value because Mathura is where Krishna was born, right? So since Krishna is born there, Mathura is valuable, yes. But more than Mathura, the value is of Vrindavan because that's where Krishna did. Actually, it starts with Vaikuntha. So he says Vaikuntha is nothing compared to Mathura because Mathura is where Krishna is born. Mathura is nothing compared to Vrindavan. Vrindavan has much more value than Mathura because in Mathura, Krishna doesn't do many leelas. In Vrindavan, Krishna does leelas in all these different moods, and this is like home of Krishna, right? He's a darling child of everyone. So Vrindavan is a very beautiful, very endearing, very charming place where Krishna is completely himself. Nobody's worshipping him in very awe or reverence. He's worshipped in a very sweet mood there, right? So it's his home. So that's why Vrindavan, because of so many beautiful pastimes, is more valuable or more or higher than Mathura. More in Vrindavan now or above Vrindavan is the value of Govardhan. Why? Because in Govardhan, Krishna did all those pastimes he was doing in Vrindavan, but also Krishna lifted Vrindavan on his little finger of the left hand, right? So his hand, they say that Udar Pani, Sri Goswami says that his hand touched Govardhan and lifted it up. So Govardhan has special mercy, and so Govardhan is even better than Vrindavan. And then he goes on to say that that on Govardhan, out of all the places that we will go today, the topmost is actually Srimati Radharani's water pond, which is called Radha Kund. So Govardhan has such a high, destination. It's a very high place actually. And the devotees, when they do parikrama, we'll talk about when you do parikrama, what mentation, what mentality, what mood you should have. So you should have a very prayerful mood because we are basically circumambulating a very great devotee of the Lord, the topmost servant of the Lord, right? We should ask him for service. He's Haridas, and we are basically, what are we? We are Mayadas or Godas, right? We're just serving this world. We're just serving our senses. So we are Godas or Mayadas, right? It's a long road to becoming Haridas, and he's not only Haridas but Haridas Varya. So when we circumambulate, when we do the parikrama, we worship for getting, a service of the Lord, getting Krishna prem, and we are constantly chanting. It's very auspicious to be constantly chanting Harinam while you do the parikrama. Okay, so I'm talking about the physical parikrama. For mental or virtual parikrama, you can just listen carefully. Typically the parikrama, so just some things about the parikrama. Typically parikrama can be done walking. If some of you have done, most people do bare feet. But if you have problems, of course, you can wear shoes. You're not supposed to step on the body of Giriraj Govardhan. So there is a marg or there is a path. You follow the path, you stick to that road. Also, let me show some. We have some beautiful pictures of Giriraj Govardhan here. So these are all the beautiful pictures of Giriraj Govardhan. This is the Parikrama marg, as you can see. So Giriraj Govardhan is described to be in the shape of a peacock. Okay, it's called Mayur shaped. So this here, it's like a resting peacock. So his head is like cocked to one side, and he's sitting down. So this is the head of that peacock. This is the. Oh, sorry. So you see where the blue is? That's where the head of the peacock. And this down here, it's hard because I was going to be pointing out many things. At the bottom is the tail. I'm moving it. It doesn't come on it somehow. Anyway, so bottom you can see that's the tail. Okay, that's called the poonch. Everybody knows what poonch is? Poonchari. So yes, so poonch is the tail of Govardhan, and on the head where those two blue spots are, two blue squares, that's Shamkund, Radhakund. Okay, so those are considered the eyes of Govardhan. So yes, some people do walking parikramas. When you go on the parikrama, you will see that thousands of people are there doing parikrama, and a lot of people may be doing what is called Dandvati parikrama. So they do Dandvats, and that's how they do parikrama. That takes, of course, yeah, they keep putting their mats one after another and keep doing Dandvats. That takes ages and ages to do. Some people are so austere and such wonderful devotees that they will do 108 Dandvats at one spot before going on. Before going on to the next spot, and then they do 108 Dandvats over there. So that's just austerity beyond my imagination. And then some do 1008 Dandvats. Yeah. So this is just beyond conception for me. Yes. So I don't know how long it takes for them to. We were walking, so we were able to finish in 7 hours or so. Now, there is another parikrama that is done, which is called Dugdha Dhara Parikrama. What they do is that's done by a tradition of Vallabhacharya followers. What they do is they hold a pot of milk, and as they walk, it has a hole in it, and that drops the milk in the whole parikrama mark. So that's called Dugdha Dhara Parikrama. Vallabhacharya tradition does that type of parikrama. The parikrama is about 21 kilometers. That's the average length of the parikrama. There is a shorter one also, and there is a longer one also. The shorter is 15 kilometers, and 27 kilometers is the longer one, which one of our acharyas used to do almost every day. The longer one is 27 kilometers. We typically, average people, maximum people are recommended to do the 21 kilometers or 7 kos ki parikrama. So we will go like this. I don't know how to show you now. During our parikrama today, we will start from the middle. Do you see them? Oh. Okay. Like this? No, it doesn't. Anyways, in the middle, you see that blue square, that's Mansi Ganga. So we are going to start our parikrama from the middle. We'll go down like this and like that. So like down and towards the tail, the punchri, go up to the head. So Radha Shamkund.
You have a laser pointer.
Oh, okay, good. Perfect. So we'll start from here and go down like this and up top like that. So I'm not going to cover, there are like hundreds of spots there. We'll probably cover maybe 5, 6 or so, okay? Just the main ones. And this parikrama that we are doing, this particular route that we are following, this is recommended. Actually, the first person that did the parikrama of Govardhan was Krishna. Yes, none other than Krishna himself. So 5,000 years back, Krishna established the tradition of doing this parikrama. And then 500 years back, when Krishna came in the form, in his fair complexion form, the golden complexion form called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then again he did the parikrama and he established the standard of how to do the parikrama. So some housekeeping points when you do parikrama: do not take any rocks or shilas or stone from Govardhan. Some people will do that. That's not recommended at all. You have to have, because remember that this is none other than Krishna. So you have to have permission from a guru, from like a spiritual master they should give you the shila, they should give you a rock to worship, only then you take it. Also, remember there is a lot of monkeys. One almost captured me this time, and Nagachan Prabhu had to fight him off. But you have to be very careful of the monkeys there. So please know that. The parikrama that so yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established this standard that we are following. During this parikrama marg, there will come many temples, okay, many water bodies or kundas. The whole Govardhan is spattered with, like, every few kilometers there is a water body, okay. So it is described that Govardhan is so wonderful that Govardhan, you know, when we are in ecstasy, there are these we have tears flowing from our eyes, right? You may be sweating. Some people start sweating, or you may develop goosebumps. So all these water bodies, the waterfalls on the body of Govardhan, they are described as his ecstatic emotions. So because he's serving the devotees, he was not only serving the most intimate devotees of Krishna 5,000 years back. Till today, Govardhan is serving all these devotees, right? All these devotees that come to do the parikrama. So I found this picture that I thought was very beautiful, because it is described in our scriptures that Govardhan becomes very ecstatic when he's serving the devotees. So there are all these water bodies manifested on him. Whenever some great devotee does austerity on his body, all these kundas manifest. This is like the ecstasy of Govardhan. And you know how we get goosebumps, right? When we hear something wonderful, or when we hear something very fantastic, right? These goosebumps come. So on his body, there are these plants and there are these grass, and everything stands up. So you see all these straight standing trees. So our scriptures describe that all these trees and all, they're the goosebumps on the body of Govardhan. So Govardhan has this, these wonderful emotions that it exhibits like this. Of course, you will come across many animals. Govardhan is serving all these. There are beautiful parrots. There were so many pictures I could not. So the PowerPoint may seem very long, but I don't have any information. I just have pictures here. So there are parrots, there are cows, there are buffaloes, there are calves, there are monkeys, thousands and thousands of monkeys. Okay. And there are all these caves there. This particular cave is actually very popular in our tradition. It's closed off now. Probably you might know. This is the cave of Raghav Pandit, one of the associates of Mahaprabhu, who used to do bhajan there. This gives you a better idea of how Govardhan is. So this is the body of the Govardhan. You can see this is Govardhan. This is the Parikrama marg, and you can see this is the Punchari. This is the tail. Okay, here the marg is curving. So let's say you go start somewhere. Actually, that white structure, I don't know if you can see in the distance, that's the Srinathji temple on top of Govardhan. You go somewhere from here like that, down, come around like that, and then there is a whole, this is the Bada Parikrama mark, then there is a Chota Parikrama mark that you will go all around like that. So this will take about 3 hours, right? And the next one will also take another 3 hours or so. Depends on, again, this is if you're just walking straight, but then people are stopping at many places, right? They're visiting temples and paying darshan. So this is, I just wanted to show you, these are the aerial views. Now we have drones and helicopters and all to take the aerial views. So I thought I'll show you. So you can go like this. This is again the Govardhan, you can see. This is somewhere in the middle point. Okay, so let's start with our parikrama. These are just some of the pictures. So we'll start our parikrama at a beautiful place called Mansi Ganga. Okay, so let's, who wants to hear some stories today? Yeah, kids want to hear some stories? Okay, so let's hear how Mansi Ganga came about. Okay, Mansi Ganga is first of all non-different from Ganga. Okay. So what happened was, you know how Kamsa Maharaj used to send all these demons to kill Krishna and to hurt Gopas and all his friends. So once he sent this demon called this calf demon. Okay, he looked like a calf. Okay, he looked like a cow ka bachcha, right? Calf. So he mingled with all the cattle, and his plan was to just change his shape and hurt Krishna at some point. But Krishna, you know, as usual, overpowered that demon. That demon's name was Vatsasur. So Vatsa means calf. Vatsasur was his name. So Krishna killed him. So after killing that Vatsasur, Krishna came to join the Ras Leela. You know, as usual, he would come to meet gopis and Radharani. So when he came to meet them, they said, "Oh, we cannot associate with you." Can you guess why? Why can't I associate with him? He killed a calf. They said he killed a calf, but Krishna argued. Krishna said, no, but that was a demon. That was not really a calf. So he said, no, but he was in the shape, or he was in the form of a calf. You have, done go hatya. So go hatya is very, very sinful. You have killed a cow. So we cannot let you associate with us. We cannot let you come near us. You have to repent for this sin of go hatya. Go do some kind of, go purify yourself. So Krishna said, how can I purify myself? They said, go and take bath in all the holy waters of various pilgrimages, all the pilgrimage waters. You need to go all over the world, and all the holy rivers, you take bath in them. So, so Krishna said, I'm not going to leave Vrindavan. I don't leave Vrindavan. Krishna said, Vrindavanam parityaje padam ekam na gacchati. I will not leave Vrindavan. So Krishna said, let me think. What can I do that I satisfy them and I take a bath in all the pilgrimages? So what he did was, he, with his flute, this is a blurry picture, but this is the only picture I could find. So with his flute, he started digging, okay? Now Krishna can do anything, okay? So with his flute, he dug a couple of times and he created this water body, okay? He just created this hole, this big space in the ground, and then he invited all the pilgrimages and their holy waters to enter into this particular hole, okay? And so all the holy rivers from all over the world entered into this particular place. And this place he named Sham Kund. Okay, this is called Sham Kund. I'm sorry. This is called, I'm sorry, this is called Mansi Ganga. So he said, I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. This is called Mansi Ganga. He invited only Ganga. He said he invited only Ganga. He said, Ganga, he invited Ganga Ma, please enter my Kunda. And Ganga Ma entered. And this is called Mansi Ganga. So basically from his mind, he created this Ganga to enter into this hole called, this was called Mansi Ganga. I was going to Sham Kund already. Sham Kund will come later. We'll come to the end. So in this way, he created this Mansi Ganga. He took a dip in it and he told gopis, okay, I'm now pure, I'm good. So basically what Krishna tried to show here was that we have Ganga in Vrindavan, Mansi Ganga is there, and this Ganga is not coming just from the feet of Vishnu. Remember that the Ganga originally comes from the feet of Vishnu, right? This Ganga is actually coming from the mind of Krishna. And this Ganga not only removes your sins, not only removes your impious reactions, but actually it gives you Krishna praise. So Krishna declared that this particular Ganga is actually more potent than the original Ganga, and you don't have to go outside of Vrindavan to take a dip in Ganga. If you want to take a dip in Ganga in Vrindavan, then we have this Mansi Ganga here. So actually this happened once, that Yashoda Mai and Nand Maharaj wanted to take a dip in Ganga, and they were going to go outside of Vrindavan. So Krishna told them, no, you don't need to go outside of Vrindavan. Come with me to the Mansi Ganga and you take a dip there. So they basically went with him, and Krishna actually had Mother Ganga come out of the Mansi Ganga to prove to Yashoda Maya and Nand Maharaj. You can see the Mother Ganga there. She's the personified Ganga. So he asked her to come out so that he can prove to Yashoda and Nand Maharaj that this is none other than Ganga herself. So in this way, they were convinced. And Vrindavan, basically Krishna declares that Vrindavan is all complete in itself. You don't need to go to any other dham if you go to Vrindavan, because all the holy waters are here, all the holy pilgrimage, everything is contained within Vrindavan. So nobody needs to leave Vrindavan for anything. And in that time when Krishna created this, from his flute, he dug the hole, he invited Mother Ganga. In that time, this Ganga used to be a big river. So now if you see, it's like this. This is our picture from a couple of years back. But you see now Mansi Ganga is like this. Okay, so it is small. It is not very big like a river. But in those days, it used to be very big like a river. And in this river, there used to happen a very beautiful pastime. So once he created this, in this river, there used to happen a very beautiful pastime. This is called, what is this called? What is this Leela going on here? This is boating pastime. This is Nauka Vihar Leela. Let's have some water. So this is boating pastime or Nauka Vihar Leela. So what happens? Another story? You want to hear the second story? Yes? Okay. So what happened was, Krishna, okay, not Krishna. What happened was gopis wanted to cross Mansi Ganga. Remember, Mansi Ganga is a river, okay? And Mansi Ganga actually goes in the middle of the Govardhan. So it can take you from one end of Govardhan to the other end of Govardhan. So they wanted to cross this end of Govardhan and go to the other side. Often they used to do that because on the other side is Mathura. So on this side is Vrindavan, on the other side is Mathura. And they would take their butter pots and milk and yogurt and other things to sell in Mathura. So they used to cross Mansi Ganga in a boat. Now, this particular day, the river was very, there was a strong current in the river. It was very torrential, okay? So they thought, oh my God, this is very hard to cross. Typically, they were able to cross very easily. So then they saw this boat coming with a boatman in it, and they asked the boatman, can you take us? He said, yeah, I'll take you. So the boatman carried them in the boat and they started going. But then the current became very strong, okay? So, and there was a hole in the boat and the water started coming into the boat, okay? So now the boat started filling with water. As the boat was filling with water, it started dipping down, right? So gopis got very scared, what's going on? So the boatman said, you have to throw away your pots. All these pots that you're carrying, they're very heavy. You have to throw them because that's why the boat is getting weighed down. So at least let's lighten the weight, throw away some of these pots. So they started throwing their pots away. Then he said, okay, this is not working. We need to throw something else that's heavy. So why don't you take out your ornaments and throw them away? So they took out their ornaments, all their heavy jewelry and, ornaments and everything, hairdressers and everything, and threw them in the Mansi Ganga. So then he said, this is not working. We need to throw something else. So then he said, okay, take off your clothes and throw them. So then they said, why don't we throw you? You are heavier than all our clothes. So we'll just throw you in the Mansi Ganga, right? Anyway, so they were going. And then the current became even stronger, very strong, jolts up and down of the boat. And Radharani, who was also in the boat, she was pushed towards the boatman. As soon as she reached the boatman, something came in her hand. And when she looked at it, it was a flute. And she realized this boatman is none other than the rascal Krishna, right? He was just teasing them. He was just having fun with them. So this was a playful pastime, and then everything became quiet. But they used to have these boating pastimes in this Mansi Ganga. Actually, it's a tradition in temples and all to do these, take the lordships on the boat and do these boating pastimes still. But this is how it used to happen in Mansi Ganga. Mansi Ganga's shores has a few places. Okay, so this is the pond that you saw. We saw that pond. Now on the shore there is a place called Mukharvind. Okay, this is, so Mukh means mouth, right? Arvind means lotus. So this is considered like the lotus mouth of Govardhan. You start your parikrama here. This is typically considered the first place where you go to. So you're starting your parikrama from Mansi Ganga. In Mukharvind, you pay your offerings. You give your, some sweet rice or some sweet product with tulsi. Pay obeisances there. But the most important thing is you ask permission there to from Govardhan to carry on this parikrama. So you need to take permission from Govardhan to perform this parikrama. So you offer something nice, offer some obeisances, and take permission, and then you start the parikrama. So this is Mukharvind. So after we take permission from Mukharvind, we go to the next place, which is called Chakleshwar Mahadev. Okay. So Chakleshwar Mahadev is basically none other than Lord Shiva. And if you know, Lord Shiva is sitting in all these various dhams as the guardian, or as you can say, the sentry, the guardian of the dham. He's protector of the dham. Okay. So, for example, in Vrindavan, what form of Lord Shiva is sitting guarding the Vrindavan Dham? Guarding the Gopeshwar Mahadev, right? So, in Vrindavan, Gopeshwar Mahadev is residing. In Mathura, which form of Lord Shiva is residing as a guardian, as a protector? Who knows? Bhuteshwar Mahadev. You said Bhuteshwar Mahadev. In Kamyavan, it is Kameshwar Mahadev. In Nandgaon, Nandeshwar Mahadev. And in Govardhan, Lord Shiva is sitting as Chakleshwar Mahadev. So there he's sitting, Chakleshwar Mahadev, and he's guarding different parts of Raja, and this is his form that is guarding the Govardhan. Next to Chakleshwar Mahadev is a place called Chakratirtha. So these are all the places that you will visit on when you go to Mansi Ganga. Okay. So on one shore, you are visiting the Mukharvind and then Chakleshwar Mahadev, and there is Chakratirtha. So Chakratirtha is basically, when there was all this torrential rain falling on the Govardhan, right? When Indra was pouring all this rain, then Sudarshan Chakra was revolving all around the Govardhan and evaporating that rain. So that side se bhi rain andar nahi jaye, piche side se bhi rain niche nahi jaye. So that he was revolving very fast in a very fiery way around all the Govardhan. So that place, Sudarshan Chakra likes to reside still on Govardhan, and that place where Sudarshan Chakra resides is called Chakratirtha. When you go around Govardhan, you will see many deities live there. Hanumanji lives on Govardhan. Lord Shiva lives on Govardhan. You will see that the form of Lord Ram, Sita, Lakshman, and Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, many forms. Simha temples are there. So like that, many deities and many forms of Lord like to reside on Govardhan. So this is called Chakratirtha.
One thing I heard was the Chakratirtha is the water like Mataji said. And then the Sudarshan Chakra was over the Govardhan going on so fast, stopping the rain from hurting any animals on top of the Govardhan. But then all the water that was falling down, Lord Shiva as Chakreshwar took it on his hair. So that's why there was no flooding around, and no Brajavasis got any rain from under the Govardhan.
Yes, perfect. Yeah. So, okay. This is a very beautiful place. This you have to visit. And this is a place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went. So this is called Haridev Temple. Has anybody been here? You've been there, right? So Haridev Temple is basically, okay, now we are in the center of Govardhan. So please remember, this is the exact spot where Krishna picked Govardhan on his finger. So remember Krishna picked it in the very center, right? So this exact spot where Krishna picked up Govardhan, that spot is Haridev Temple. So what happened was, after Krishna left Vrindavan and gopis used to meditate on him, they would often go into this trance and they would chant this name, Haridev, Haridev. So Hari's name of Krishna, they'll call out Haridev, Haridev. So once a 7-year-old boy came to them, and he had very loving conversations with them, and he soothed their separation, because they were so tearful, they were in so much separation, that this boy came and he had very loving exchanges with them, with the gopis. This 7-year-old Gopal actually manifested as a deity there, and that deity is the deity of Haridevji. So you can see on the right side, this is the deity of Haridevji. That's the 7-year-old Gopal that came to gopis, and in his left hand he's holding the Govardhan, and in the right hand he has a flute. It's hard to appreciate in this picture, but it has a Govardhan on Shila on the left hand and flute in the right hand. So in this way, this temple is very, actually in our tradition, if you know Mahaprabhu, when he went there, he was in so much ecstasy that he started dancing there. He started doing ecstatic kirtan there, and he was constantly reciting that verse we recited from Srimad Bhagavatam Venu Geet, that from 21st chapter, where Govardhan is described as Haridas Varya. Everybody remembers we talked about Govardhan being Haridas Varya. So Mahaprabhu was so ecstatic. Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna. He was so ecstatic that he was dancing there, reciting that verse very loudly. This used to be a very tall temple. This used to be a 7-story tall temple, but then it was destroyed and it's only 1 story tall now. This is another beautiful place which will appeal to some of our devotees here. This is the Bhajan Kutir of one of our very great acharyas, Sanatan Goswami. We have 6 prominent acharyas. These are 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. We talked about Rup Goswami before. This is his brother, Sanatan Goswami. This is his Bhajan Kutir. Sanatan Goswami lived on Govardhan, and remember we talked about him, how he used to do Parikrama every day. He used to do actually the long Parikrama, the 27 kilometers Parikrama every day. Okay. So, and he used to do very nice bhajan there. So his bhajan was so amazing. And remember that we are still on Mansi Ganga, on one of the shores of Mansi Ganga, right? So next to him was Chakleshwar Mahadev. His bhajan was so amazing that Lord Shiva, Chakleshwar Mahadev, used to hear this bhajan. One time, Sanatan Goswami was very bothered by the mosquitoes there. So he said, I'm going to leave this place. I'm going to go to Vrindavan. I'm going to live in Vrindavan. I don't want to live here because mosquitoes bother my bhajan a lot. I can't concentrate. So Chakleshwar Mahadev, when he heard that Sanatan Goswami is leaving, Lord Shiva, that Sanatan Goswami is leaving, got very upset. And he stopped Sanatan Goswami. He said, please stay here. I'll take care of all the mosquitoes. Okay, so from next day, there were no mosquitoes there. And it is described that to this day, if you go to Sanatan Goswami's Bhajan Kutir, there are no mosquitoes there. But that was the potency of his bhajan. And imagine doing this bhajan every day and doing parikrama every day on Govardhan. This was the power of some of our acharyas. This is the deity that Sanatan Goswami used to worship. This deity is called Radha Madan Mohan deities. And there is temple, Radha Madan Mohan temple in Vrindavan. The original deities are in Rajasthan, but still the beautiful temple of Radha Madan Mohan can be seen in Vrindavan. It's actually the landmark structure of Vrindavan. It's a very tall tower-like structure you can see from anywhere almost in Vrindavan. But those deities, Radha Madan Mohan deities, he used to serve. Now, when he became very old and he was still doing parikrama every day, Radha Madan Mohan could not tolerate this. They came to him and they said that they were conversing and they told him, Sanatan, stop doing this parikrama every day. This is going to kill you because you're so old. You're 80 plus now. You can't keep doing parikrama every day. I cannot even imagine doing this parikrama every day. He's 80 years old. So, he said, what Madan Mohan did was, Madan Mohan said, Sanatan said, I will not stop doing parikrama. So Madan Mohan said, okay, let's do this. So Madan Mohan started playing his flute. Okay. Now Krishna's flute, as soon as he started playing and he's standing on Govardhan, that portion of Govardhan melted. Okay. And a calf came there. You can see the calf, and Krishna is holding his stick. Okay. So that area melted where the calf is standing, where Krishna is standing, and he's holding the stick. That particular area of Govardhan, this particular Govardhan Shila has the footprint of Krishna, has footprint of the calf, and has the imprint of the stick on it. So there are three things on it. And this Govardhan Shila he gave to Sanatan Goswami, and he said, I think it died. And he said, just do parikrama of this. Just do parikrama of this, and your Govardhan parikrama will be complete. You don't have to do, you have done enough of my service, all your life. You don't have to do so much. So he basically gave him this to do. So that was Sanatan Goswami's Bhajan Kutir. Who knows what this place is? This is a very famous, landmark structure of Govardhan. This is also we are still in the middle of Govardhan. This is Dan Ghati Mandir. So another story. Ready for another story? Dan Ghati Mandir signifies a very beautiful pastime of Krishna with gopis, and that pastime is called? It's called tax collector pastime. Yes, okay, you have to speak up. Tax collector pastime, right? So Krishna has done these tax collector pastimes in many places in Braja. So remember, we just talked about how gopis used to carry all this butter and yogurt and milk across from Vrindavan to Mathura, right? They will take all this to sell. So there are some places in Govardhan, it is described there are 4 places where you can cross Govardhan to get to Mathura. Okay. So what Krishna would do is Krishna would stop gopis in those passages and ask for tax. Tax do, kar, right? You know what kar or tax is, right? So tax on these products that you're going to take. Because he said, I'm the king of Vrindavan. You are taking all this product from Vrindavan without paying taxes to me. You're going to make money on this and you're not going to pay taxes to me. So I'm going to collect tax from you. Okay. So this is called tax collector pastime. And these tax collector pastimes have happened in many places, but this particular place is the most famous place because this is in the middle of the Govardhan. This is where gopis used to cross very often. So one time he stopped them and he said, I'm the king. And I've actually married Brinda Devi. You know Brinda Devi, right? Brinda Devi is Tulsi Maharani. He said, I'm husband of Brinda Devi. So that means this is Vrindavan. This is Vrindavan. So I'm husband of Vrindavan, which means I'm Vrindavaneshwar. I'm the king of Vrindavan. So you have to pay me taxes. So Gopi said, hold on. Let's get Brinda Devi and let's see if she confirms this fact or not. Brinda Devi came and she said, I don't know what you're talking about. My Vrindavaneshwari is Radharani. Okay, I do not believe that you are the king of Vrindavan. This is my town. This is Vrindavan. So in this town, Vrindavaneshwari, this is a king. This is not a kingdom. This is a queendom. So this is Vrindavaneshwari's town. This is Radharani's town. So since this is Radharani's town, they will not pay any taxes to you. Okay. In fact, they will now punish you for collecting all these taxes, for harassing them every time they cross this road. So gopis, you're free to punish them. So then gopis, thousands of gopis, and they got all their sticks out, and somebody's shikha was, tied to the tree, and somebody was tied to the tree with the ropes, and they were all chased away. So in this way, these divine quarrels, used to happen. Again, our wonderful Acharya, Srila Rupa Goswami, wrote a book on these pastimes. These are very, very endearing, very charming pastimes, very joyful pastimes. And he wrote a book on this. It's called Dan Keli Komudi. And once what happened was, well, we'll skip this story because there are too many stories otherwise. Okay, once what happened, I'll tell some other story. Once they were fighting like this, gopis and Krishna, and Purnamasi. Who knows who's Purnamasi? Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. He is the mother of Santi, grandmother of Madhumata.
Yes.
She arranged all the pastimes in Vrinda with Vrinda Devi or Tulsi Nārangi. Tulsi Nārangi means parrots go everywhere and makes the arrangement for Krishna and
So she's basically the Yog Maya. She facilitates these pastimes. Okay. So once Purnamasi had to intervene because the quarrel got very fierce. Okay. So Purnamasi said to Krishna, okay, let's come to an agreement. Gopis will give you the makhan. Okay. But you have to give 2 benedictions in return, 2 boons. Okay. One, you will make sure that gopis will always stay with you in your service. Okay. Wherever you are, gopis will be there. Gopis will always reside with you. Okay. So keeps going in and out. So I think it's fine, right? Like this is fine. Okay, I'll shout a little bit. So they said gopis will always reside with you in your service. That's one boon. Second boon, whoever gives up this material world and comes to live on Radha Kund, okay, that jiva, that person will get Krishna Prem. Do you agree to give these 2 wishes, 2 boons? If you do, Purnamasi, because Purnamasi is she's Yog Maya, right? So she's always connecting jivas with Krishna. So she was not only concerned about gopis connecting with Krishna, but she wanted to connect all the jivas with Krishna. So she said, whoever comes to live on Radha Kund will get Krishna Prem. Do you give this boon? So Krishna said, I'll give this boon in return for your makhan. So in this way, Purnamasi resolved that issue. This place, this area is called Anior. Okay, Anior is the village where all these places are. Okay, so in Govardhan also there are small villages, like there is Anior village, there is Jatipura village. Now, what does the word Anior means? Anybody knows? More an, give me more food. So what happened was, you remember the original pastime, right? When Indra when Indra poured all this rain on Govardhan and Krishna defeated him, and then they were feeding Govardhan, right? They made all this food. They made mountains and mountains of food for Govardhan. They made thousands of pots of rice, different types of rice, thousands of pots of dal and sabzi and desserts and whatnot. They made so many dishes for Govardhan. But Govardhan kept eating them, and he kept saying, Anior, like Orlao, give me more, because this is none other than Krishna. Krishna is unlimited. He has unlimited capacity to take from us, right? We can render unlimited service to him. Or unlimited jivas are unlimitedly rendering seva to him from unlimited time, right? So there is no Devi Devta in this world that can consume that much food, but that can take that much seva. But Krishna can. So Krishna was accepting all this seva. Okay, this This Mahotsav, this particular celebration where we make all this food for Govardhan, this is called Annakut, and that's the festival that we are celebrating today. So we'll be making a little Govardhan from all the food that we have brought, okay, all the prasadam we have. So he kept saying Anyor. Finally, one Vrajwasi was very intelligent. He put a tulsi leaf on that prasad, and then Govardhan was satisfied, or we can say Krishna was satisfied. So that's why whenever you offer bhoga, you have to put Krishna, you have to put tulsi leaf or manjari on it. So this is the village called Anyor. This is a place called Dan Nivartan Kund. So once what happened was, when Krishna was successful in collecting the tax from gopis, okay, then they tricked him one day. They tricked him. They sent one small gopi and they said, "Can you come tomorrow? We want to feed you more makhan tomorrow. Come to this place." So they brought Krishna brought all his friends and everybody to this place, and there were thousands of gopis there, and they all ambushed these gopas and all. "You dare to collect tax from us? You think we're gonna feed you makhan today?" So they just, they basically chased them and beat them, and Madhu Mangal was tied up and whatnot. So all kinds of. So this is called Dan Nivartan Kund, where they took the tax back. So whatever tax was collected by Krishna through tricks and all this, they took it back. So this type of divine transcendental quarrels used to happen in these various places. So this is called Dan Nivartan Kund. These are a couple of paintings that show this tax collecting pastime, where Krishna would stand, very bossy and give me tax because I'm the king. Okay, this particular place is called Gopal Prakat Sthali. I want to hear from someone. Does anyone know what we're talking about here? Who is Gopal, and who has heard the name of a wonderful acharya called? You can speak. Madhvendra Puri. Has anybody heard of this name, Madhvendra Puri? Yes, right? So Madhvendra Puri. Has anybody heard of the name Shirchor Gopinath? Shirchor Gopinath? Okay. Who has heard of Srinathji? Srinathji. Srinathji is a very huge temple. It's actually considered the second richest or wealthiest temple after Balaji in India. The second. Yes. So Srinathji is a very wonderful temple, and this is the deity of Srinathji. This is so before it was called Sri Gopalji deity. This appeared to a wonderful devotee called Madhvendra Puri. So what happened was, so Madhvendra Puri comes in a tradition. Okay, there are beautiful stories associated with him, but he was doing a very intense bhajan, very austere bhajan, like a lot of tapasya. He was not eating or drinking anything, and he was sitting in a place under a khadam tree on Govardhan, and he was doing very intense bhajan. Okay, he had not eaten or drunk anything for a few days. So this boy came to him and he said, "Baba, I brought you some sweet milk." Okay, he said, "This is my town, this is my village. In this village, nobody goes hungry or thirsty. Please accept this sweet milk." So Madhvendra Puri accepted it, and then he went to sleep. Okay, in his sleep, in his dreams, he saw that this boy was saying, "Please come and get me out from this particular space, like some ways away, some distance away. I'm buried underground. Please get me out." So then Madhvendra Puri woke up and realized that this person that had come was actually none other than Krishna. And when he dug that place that he was told to, this Gopalji deity came. Okay, so this deity that you saw, this is the Gopalji deity that came. Okay, and then he started serving this deity. But this place is the Gopal Prakat Sthali. This is where Gopalji appeared to Madhvendra Puri. Okay, in under the ground. This on the left side, you can see that this is the tree on which under which Madhvendra Puri was sitting and doing his bhajan when Gopalji appeared to him. Okay, and you can see a painting where Madhvendra Puri is sitting and Gopalji comes and offers him sweet milk. So, okay, I'm sorry. So this is the Gopal Prakat Sthali. If you remember, I will show you again. But this Gopalji deity, its replica. So main Gopalji deity is now being served in Sri Nathdwara temple. Okay, but there is a replica being served in another Sri Nathji temple on Govardhan. You remember I showed you a white structure very far off in the distance. That was Sri Nathji temple on Govardhan. So there are beautiful, pastimes and places here that you can relish for ages and ages. And I don't have enough capability, qualification, or time to finish any of this, but we'll just try to finish as much as we can. Just very quickly about some of the kundas. So when Indra did all this offense against Brajvasis and against Lord, okay, he was very resentful. He was very guilty after this. He was feeling very remorseful after this, okay. So Indra had done basically Vishnu Aprad, right? He had done Vaishnava Aprad because he had tried to kill all these Rajvasis. So Indra was very remorseful. So he came to apologize to Krishna after all this 7 days and 7 nights were done. Okay, he stopped the rain when he realized that this is none other than Supreme Lord. I need to stop all this nonsense I'm doing. He stopped all the rain and everything. And everybody went home. Everybody was happy. But he became very guilty. He needed to apologize. He needed to do some tapasya, he had to please the Lord because he had offended the Supreme Lord. And more than that, he had offended all the Vrajvasis, the great devotees of the Lord. So to repent for this aparadh that he had done, he came to Krishna, okay? And he did his abhishek, okay? That abhishek that Indra did made this kunda, made this water, which is called Govind Kund. So this is the Govind Kund. You can see the aerial view of Govind Kund from above. Can we please settle down? So this is this is the deities at Govind Kund. This is Radha Govind deity at the Govind Kund. This is another picture of Govind Kund. Okay. Again, this is the place where so this is the Srinathji temple. Now it came. Now the picture is here. The Srinathji temple on top of the hill, where the Gopalji replica is there. And let me show you those replicas. Sorry. All this is in Govind Kund. Okay. So on Govind Kund, there is this this Gopalji deity. There is this Jagannath Baldev Subhadra deities. There are many other deities, but those are the two main ones. This place is called Apsara Kund. So when Indra came, who all came with him to apologize to Krishna? Who all came with Indra? Who's the vehicle of Indra? Who does Indra ride? Huh? Airavat. So Airavat, the elephant came, right? And Indra could not go alone because Indra had committed such a grave offense that he needed to take shelter of a devotee. He needed to take a devotee with him, right? Just say, humse kuch galti ho jaye, then what we'll do is we'll take somebody that's in favor of that person, right? So to speak for us, right? Sifarish lagane ke liye. So he took whom? He took the cow. He took Surbhi cow. He took Surbhi cow because he knows that Surbhi cow is very dear to the Lord. So he took Surbhi cow with him. And when he was apologizing, there were many demigods, devtas watching, Gandharvas watching, and there were many Apsaras watching, right? Because Indra is the Devraj. So all the people that are under him were watching. So Apsaras also did Krishna's Abhishek, and that's why there is Apsara Kund there. Sorry. This is another picture of the Apsara Kund. You can see that there are 3-4 kundas nearby. So I don't know which one is which, but you can see that there are 3-4 kundas. Okay. And then this is just a path. Apsara Kund is there. Similarly, there is Surbhi Kund. There is Gandharv Kund there. So there are many. All these kundas are in a row. Okay. Now we have reached the tail. Remember, we started from the middle portion and we have reached the tail. The tail is called Punchari. Punchari. Okay. Punch or Punchari. This is a secret path. So typically we don't go through forest, we go through the side path, but this is a path, forest path to go to Punchari. In the Punchari, there is a place called Punchari Ka Lota. Punchari Ka Lota. Punchari means tail. Lota is the name of Krishna's friend. Okay. So Lota used to make very nice sweet dishes for Krishna. Okay. He used to make these very just say rasgulla, gulab jamun, whatever sweet dishes he used to make for Krishna. So when Krishna left Vrindavan, he had made some sweet things and he told Krishna, please stay, I've made some stuff for you, I want to feed you. Krishna said, just wait for me, I will come back and then we will eat. So Lotha called after him that I will eat when you come back. So Krishna never came back and Lotha is still sitting there waiting for him. So this is called Punchari Ka Lotha. He's very nicely called Baba. So people say Baba ka darshan lo. Actually, Govardhan is also called Baba by Brajvasis. Brajvasis like to, so if Brajvasis say Baba ka darshan lo, it could mean Lotha or it could mean Giriraj Govardhan. But it is said that you have to pay attendance to Punchari ka Lotha, Lotha Baba. Otherwise, your parikrama is not complete. So everybody needs to go to the Lotha Baba and give attendance. This is Punchari ka Lotha, who's still there. This is another beautiful picture of Lotha Baba. On the left, on the right side, you can see the marg which people can take to get to Punchari or the tail. Remember, there are many forests there. One of the very important forests there is Kadamba one. In Kadamba one, actually, I forgot to mention, in Kadamba one are all those trees, those kundas. Indra Kund, Surbi Kund, Apsara Kund, Gandharv Kund, all these kundas where Indra did all this worship of the Lord. Those kundas are there. So, what is the difference between Govind Kund and Indra Kund? Govind Kund is the Abhishek that Indra did. Okay, he did Abhishek. He did Abhishek with what? Anybody knows? Huh? No, milk. Surbi cow did Abhishek with milk. Eravat did milk with water. Indra also did Abhishek with water, but which water? Indra did Abhishek with the Akash Ganga, with celestial Ganges. Okay, so that is the Govind Kund's water. So Govind Kund's water is actually very important. So whenever you go to Govardhan Parikrama, when you visit these kundas, take a bottle and just fill a little bit of water. You just need a little, but just fill a little bit of water to bring back for your Achman. You can mix it all in just one bottle. So Govind Kund is the Abhishek that Indra did. What is Indra Kund? Indra Kund is the tears of Indra. Because he was crying. He was so repentful, he was so remorseful that he had offended Krishna that he was crying. The tears made a pond which is called Indra Kund. So that's why Govind Kund is the Abhishek water, then Indra Kund, then Surbi Kund, like that. These are all located in a place called Kadamba Van. So Kadamba is a very famous tree that's found in Vrindavan, Govardhan area. Okay, this is I think I already told you. Okay, this is Surbi Kund. This is okay. This is very wonderful place, and this is called Uddhav Kund. We will spend a few minutes here, okay? So Uddhav Kund, okay. Who knows Uddhav ji? Who has heard of Shri Uddhav? Uddhav Maharaj, Uddhav. Okay. So Uddhav ji is one of the very dear friends of Krishna. He's a servant, he's a cousin, he's also a friend of Krishna, okay? His descriptions come in Srimad Bhagavatam, okay? So Uddhav ji was serving Krishna in which city? Was he serving in Vrindavan, Dwarka, Mathura, Kurukshetra? Dwarka. So he was serving Krishna in Dwarka. Okay, Uddhav ji is a great Kshatriya who was serving Krishna. He's also, like an advisor and of Krishna. So Krishna shares all his confidences with Uddhav ji in Dwarka. Okay, so once when Krishna was in Dwarka, he sent Uddhav. This is a very beautiful description. We've talked about this many times before, but I'll just tell you very briefly because I don't have time. But once Krishna sent Uddhav ji from Dwarka to Vrindavan, he said, go to Vrindavan and my devotees there are suffering in my separation. Okay, ask after them, see how they're doing. Talk to Nand Maharaj, talk to Yashoda Maya, Gopis, and see how they're doing. Okay, and comfort them and give them some knowledge. Okay, give them some gyan. Now, the point here is that he was sending Uddhav ji. Uddhav ji is a very learned person. Uddhav ji is a student of Brahaspati, actually. He's a very advanced, very knowledgeable person. So he's sending Uddhav ji, and Uddhav ji is thinking, okay, I have a lot of knowledge. I will give all this gyan, all this knowledge to the gopis. So when he goes there, he sees this amazing, incredible, extraordinary devotion, this love of gopis, okay, that he has never seen before, that he does not even know exists in this world. He cannot even comprehend what this love is like. Okay, he's trying to teach them Gyan Yoga. He's saying, okay, sit down and empty your mind, okay, empty your mind and just try to focus on Krishna. So gopis say, Uddhav, are you crazy? We cannot stop thinking of Krishna. How can we? You're asking us to focus our mind on Krishna. We have nothing else in our mind but Krishna. We have to sit in yoga to get Krishna out of our mind. Unlike us, we jivas have to sit in yoga to focus on Krishna. Gopis have to sit in yoga to get Krishna out of their head because this is just impossible for them to go even a minute without thinking of Krishna. This mind is driving us crazy because it's only focused on Krishna. So when Uddhav ji heard this, he was blown away. What is this bhakti? What is this love? They said somebody was sharing their dreams of Krishna. And they asked Radharani, what dream did you have? Uddhav ji is hearing this conversation. What dream did you have, Radharani? In your dream, what did Krishna do? They only have dreams of Krishna. So Radharani said, I did not sleep. I cannot sleep thinking of Krishna. How can I have a dream? So dreams will only come if you can sleep, but I cannot even sleep thinking of Krishna. So how can there be a dream? So Uddhav ji is listening to this conversation, and many such things going on in front of him. They're talking to a bumblebee and they're imagining this is Krishna because bumblebee has yellow stripes. So the yellow is the pitambar vesh, the yellow dress of Krishna, and this bumblebee is black in color. Krishna world, black color. So this they're talking to him as if they're talking to Krishna. So Uddhav ji realized this is beyond my gyan, yoga, or anything. This is a bhakti this is a love of a different level altogether that I cannot even imagine. What I need is I need their dust, the dust of their feet on my head to get this bhakti, to get this love. I do not even have a speck of this kind of love or this kind of devotion for Krishna, and have come to teach them. So that was actually the plan of Krishna. Krishna had sent Uddhav ji to Vrindavan. It said that he had sent them to Vrindavan Institute of Higher Education to get some learning, get some teachings from Gopi. So Bahar se bola ki gopis ko sikhao, but actually he wanted Uddhav to see what actual true devotion, true love looks like. So now he said, I need their dust of their feet on my head. But I cannot ask them, because if I ask them for the dust of their feet, they will be very, surprised because they are, young gopis, and I am this bulky, with this fierce Kshatriya, this big soldier, this big ruler. How can I, this very learned man, this student of Brahaspati, how can I ask them for the dust of gopis? They will get intimidated, right? So there is only one way to get the dust of their lotus feet. And how can one get dust of their lotus feet? Become a blade of grass somewhere in Vrindavan, somewhere in Govardhan. And how can I become a blade of grass, a creeper, a lata in Vrindavan or in Govardhan? If I do austerities here. So this place where Uddhav ji did austerities, he sat down and he did austerities to become a blade of grass in Vrindavan, is called Uddhav Kund. So this is the place where he did austerities. There is next to Uddhav Kund, there is a small temple. There is a beautiful temple. It's called Shri Shri Radha Uddhav Bihari Ji Temple. This is this whole description of gopis and their encounter with Uddhav Ji comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. We have sets of Srimad Bhagavatam if anybody wants today. Srimad Bhagavatam is a book of divine love that instantly gives Krishna prem. So Tat Shanat, Bhagavatam says that at the same moment that you start reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna prem manifests in your heart. So please get Srimad Bhagavatam if you don't have it. This verse comes in the Brahmar Geet. So Brahmar Geet is the Geet that gopis were singing when they were looking at this bumblebee and imagining him to be Krishna. So that Brahmar Geet, in that particular chapter, Uddhav ji says this verse. He says, gopis have given up everything, basically. You can read this. So please let me be fortunate enough to be one of the bushes, creepers, or herbs in Vrindavan, because the gopis trample them and bless them with the dust of their lotus feet. So agar main kuch creeper ya wo ban jaun, then they will walk on me and I will automatically get their dust. That was the Uddhav Kund. We will come back to where Uddhav ji is now residing as a creeper. So we will come back to where Uddhav ji is residing. But for now, let's go to the next place. This is the most important place. This is called Radha Kund and Sham Kund. Okay. So you see the crooked one? Is Krishna crooked or straight? Okay. Crooked. Krishna is very crooked. His Tribhang Lalit form, right? Threefold bending form. Krishna is very crooked. Jivas are supposed to be straight. We are supposed to be simple. Krishna is very complicated. So Krishna is all crooked like that. So his Kunda, Sham Kund. You remember, I was telling the story before that I messed up, but I'll just tell you very briefly. Sham Kund, and the straight one is Radha Kund. Remember on Govardhan, what is the topmost place? What is the best place? That one place if we had to visit is Radha Kund. Okay. Let me tell you very quickly how both of these manifested. For us, Radha Kund holds more importance than Sham Kund. This is Radha Kund. But I'll tell you. So again, same thing happened. Krishna had killed demon who was in the form of a bull. Okay, this demon was called Arishtasur. So when Krishna killed Arishtasur, same thing happened. Gopi said, you cannot participate in Rasa dance with us because you have committed the sin of Go Hatya. So now you need to go take bath in all the holy pilgrimages. That time they said only in Ganga. Now they said in the water of all the holy pilgrimages. So then Krishna dug this hole and invited the waters of all the holy pilgrimages, and that is Shamkund. When gopis saw this beautiful kund manifest in front of them, where Krishna could take a bath and gopas could take a bath and wash their feet and wash their face, so they also wanted a kund for themselves. So what they did was they took their bangles and started digging in the ground. Okay, but that was a very slow process, right? Digging a hole with your bangles was a very slow process. Anyways, they did it. They dug a hole. Then in that hole, they said, okay, let's bring some water here. Let's bring water from Mansi Ganga here. But remember that we have come to the head. Remember, Radhakund and Shamkund was at the head. So we started from the middle, we went to Punchari, and we went all the way, all these kundas, Kadamvan, and then we went to the head. So these are at the head. So Mansi Ganga is very far from this place. So which means it will be a long travel to get water from Mansi Ganga to this Radhakund, right? So they were in a dilemma, how to bring water into this. So then Krishna said, take water from Shamkund, from my kund. They said, no, we won't take water from your kund. We want our own water. So then all the pilgrimage places of Shamkund manifested in front of Radharani, and they said, please accept us into your kund. Please give us the opportunity to serve you. And so Radharani accepted, and the water entered into Radhakund. This Radha Kund is a very, very glorious place. It is considered the topmost spiritual abode. Okay. Basically, please hear very carefully. This Radha Kund is so wonderful. This Radha Kund is none other than the liquefied love, the liquid love of Radharani. So Radharani, as you know, she's made of just Krishna Prem. She's made of just Prem, right? Krishna Prem. That person that is made of Krishna Prem is called Radharani. And that Prem, when liquefied, when it becomes liquid, is called Radha Kund. Okay, so Radha Kund is so glorious that if you take a dip there, as you remember, Pawnmasi recommended that one should live there, because if one lives there, then you get Krishna Prem. Similarly, people visit there, take a dip there, they get Krishna Prem. So this is just made of Krishna Prem. So this is Radha Kund. It's a very, very glorious place. You have to go there very prayerfully, worshipfully, because this is the love of Radharani for Krishna. So this was Radha Kund. Many of our acharyas live there. There are one main acharya that lived there all his life, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. So this is his bhajan kutir, and Samadhi Mandir is there. In this particular Samadhi Mandir, 24-hour kirtan goes on. So please go visit there if you go to Radha Kund. Actually, there is no way to avoid. I think you have to go through the Raghunath Das Goswami Samadhi Mandir. He lived there for 45 years, and he did constant bhajan there at the Radha Kund. This is Sham. You can see side by side Shamkund and Radhakund. Okay, another reason Shamkund is oblique, or you can say teda, is because at the banks of that place, there used to be 5 Pandav trees. Okay, so something you have to remember about Govardhan is that in Govardhan, many saints and sages live in various forms. Okay, so many great devotees live there. So somebody could be living in the form of an animal there. Somebody could be living in the form of a tree there. Somebody could be living in the form of a small hill there. Like Uddhavji is in the form of a creeper there, like a lata there, right? And Pandavas are living there in the form of a tree. Okay, so there are 5 trees there, 5 Pandav trees. And when Shamkund was being excavated, they requested that they may not be uprooted. Okay, so the 5 trees were left. Now the trees are not there anymore. There is only 1 tree left. This particular tree is Yudhishthir Maharaj. So this is how Pandava trees are. I'm skipping a lot of things, but I just want you to get a little taste for this. The last place that we will visit is Kusum Sarovar. Kusum Sarovar is, so we came from Radha Kund, Shamkund, right? Remember Mansi Ganga is where we started. So we are in the last leg of our Parikrama. This falls in the middle of Mansi Ganga and Radha Kund. So this is Kusum Sarovar. It's a very opulent place. This place is full of temples, They are so beautiful. The architecture, the structure, it's amazing. It's mind blowing. The color, the deities, the devotion, the ambience, it's very beautiful. The this time when we went, we could not go inside because it was closed, right? Something was going on. But this is Kusum Sarovar, as you can see. How did Kusum Sarovar came about? Beautiful story. Please pay attention. I think this is the last story. So Kusum Sarovar is basically used to be called Kusum One. So in the time of Krishna, this was just a flower garden. Okay, this was a forest of flowering trees only. So it was called Kusum One or Suman One. Okay. So this can be called Kusum Sarovar or Suman Sarovar. So here Krishna used to have very beautiful flower picking pastimes with Radharani. He used to decorate her hair with flowers. Okay. So what happened was in Vrindavan, there is a festival observed, and some of you may know this festival. It's called Sanji. Sanji festival is where their cow dung is used to make beautiful paintings, and then they're decorated with flowers. So gopis used to get their flowers from Kusumvan. A lot of times Barsana didn't have enough flowers, so they will come to Kusumvan and get their flowers for their Sanji. Okay, so once they came here and they were collecting flowers, and Radha Rani's sari got caught in a thorny bush. Okay, and she couldn't free herself. So suddenly there came a gardener there. Okay, a Vanmali came, one very tall, burly fellow with a mustache came there, and he freed Radha Rani. Okay, when Radharani looked at her, she was very attracted to him. She was very intrigued by him. She really felt some pull at her heart, some tug at her heart. And she was very surprised because she doesn't feel tug for anyone except for Krishna, right? So she was very surprised. How can this random person, how can I be attracted to somebody else other than Krishna? Anyways, he left. So then gopis came and gopi said, Radha, where are your flowers? Look, we have filled all our baskets with flowers, but where are your flowers? So they said, so she said, there is this one Mali who's roaming about. I got caught in the thorn. He freed me, but can we look for him? So they started looking for him. When they found him, the one Mali actually got upset at them. He said, you're taking all these flowers from my garden without permission. This is not allowed. You cannot take so many flowers from my garden. So they were arguing like this, and finally, of course, they realized this is Krishna. There was a flute, huh? So Radharani felt better. Okay, this is Krishna. That's why I felt this pull at my heart, right? So, but in this tussle, a lot of flowers from Gopi's baskets fell on the ground. Okay, Radharani said, I don't want these flowers to go to waste. I want every flower to be used, but I cannot put them in my hair because now they've fallen, they become contaminated. So one Mali said, what Krishna said, and this is another name of Krishna, one Mali or one Bihari. One Bihari means somebody who does all these leelas, all these Bihar in the one, all this beautiful, enjoyable pastimes in the one. So he said, I will get Mother Yamuna to come and wash these flowers. They said, how will you do that? He said, I'll invite her here. So when he invited her here, that water became Kusum Sarovar. So Kusum Sarovar is none other than the water of Yamuna. So in that water, he washed the flowers, and then he said, please allow me the service of decorating your hair. So so this became a tradition where Radha Rani, before they will go to Ras Leela, he will do her Shringar there. So in that temple, you see this deity, in one of the temples. Of course, there's so many temples in Kusum Sarovar, but this is one small temple outside. This is called Radha Ban Bihari Temple. You can see Radha Ban Bihari Ji Temple. The deities are in the form of Govardhan. This is Radha and Krishna. On top is Krishna. Below is Radharani, the small one. You can see that she's holding a mirror in her hand, in her left hand. And I don't know if you can see, but Krishna is holding a comb. Yeah, this comb in his. So he combs the hair of Radharani. Okay, and in her mirror, Radharani is looking, and it looks like she's looking at herself, right? Typically, women will look at herself, but actually Radharani is looking at Krishna in her mirror. So as he's decorating her hair, she's looking at him. Then what happened next day was, this is beautiful temple, and the priest actually told us this story, and he gave me this small booklet from where I got this story that I'm telling you today. So then what happened was, next day, Radharani was running late for her Sanji because she couldn't collect enough flowers. Remember, all the gopis collected flowers. Radharani was not able to. So Radharani told Krishna, how will I every time I win in Sanji competition, how will I win this time? So he said, don't worry about it. I will make something happen. So he actually, the next day when everybody was examining Sanjis and they saw Radharani Sanji was the best Sanji, and all the gopis were very surprised. They said, how did you get this? This is so good. This is amazing. And she said, there is a gopi that helped me. And actually Krishna was dressed as a gopi. So there are pictures of, I didn't put those pictures. There are pictures of Krishna dressed as gopi helping Radharani making a Sanji. So this is that Kusum Sarovar, the water of Yamuna that Krishna invited there. Okay. Next to, not next, but very close to Kusum Sarovar is Uddhav Kund, okay? And also Narad Kund. Remember, everybody wants to come to Braj and become something there, right? Or they want to enter into pastimes of Krishna. So Uddhav ji, this is Uddhav Kund, I'm sorry. We've talked about that. Uddhav Baithak. Uddhav Baithak is there, okay? So remember we talked about how Uddhav ji has become a creeper. So Uddhav ji resides in this Kusum Sarovar as a creeper, okay, as a lata, as a gulm lata. And this same story is told in the Radha Ban Bihari temple of how Uddhav ji, what he did was, Uddhav Baithak kya hoti, like a sitting, like how you all are sitting, right? So this is a Baithak, right? This is like a conference. So what happened was when Krishna finished his pastimes and disappeared from this material world, right? So then all the queens of Dwarka were brought by Krishna's great grandson Vajranab to Mathura, okay? All the queens came here. In Mathura, they asked Mother Kalindi, Yamuna, what should we do here? Like, what should we do? How should we perfect our life? They said, you are in a very awe type of mood. You are in very Ashwarya Bhav. You need to complete your realization of Krishna to become perfect in life. For that, go do Sankirtan at Kusum Sarovar. So they actually came to this Kusum Sarovar and did Sankirtan. And Kalindi promised them, when you do Sankirtan very purely, Uddhav ji will appear. Uddhav ji is residing there. He will be pleased with your Sankirtan and he will appear there. And then he will help you perfect your life. So they did Sankirtan. Uddhav ji, who's there as a creeper, he manifested his human form and he came and he told them Srimad Bhagavatam. He narrated the whole Srimad Bhagavatam for 1 month to all the queens of Dwarka at this place, which is called Uddhav Baithak, which is in the near Kusum Sarovar. So Srimad Bhagavatam is very powerful. You know, when you do this chanting of the names and you hear Srimad Bhagavatam, you know, both have such a powerful effect that queens were liberated. They went back to Godhead. They went back to the spiritual world in association of Krishna. And this is the Uddhav Baithak. I just put a little verse here where after the trip to Vrindavan, Uddhav ji comes back and he asks Krishna. He said, he held Shri Krishna's feet and in a tone of grief, he said, leaving behind the unparalleled nectar of Shri Vrindavan Dham and the sacred realm of Govardhan Dham, where have you come to reside? Why have you come to Dwarka, leaving Vrindavan and Govardhan? Because he had tasted the nectar of Vrindavan and Govardhan there. So this is Uddhav ji. He narrated Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Narad Kund. Again, Narad ji also wanted to enter into the pastimes of Krishna. And Gopeshwar Mahadev stopped him. He said, you cannot enter into Vrindavan in a male form. If you want to enter into Ras Leela, you have to enter in female form. So in order to get a female form, you have to do austerities. They have to do tapasya. He did tapasya in this place called Narad Kund. And he took a dip in Kusum Sarovar. And when he came out, came out of Kusum Sarovar, he was a gopi. He was in the form of a gopi called Naradi Gopi. And then he was allowed entry by Gopeshwar Mahadev into the Ras Leela. And then he again took a dip in Kusum Sarovar and became Narad Muni again. This is Narad Kund from top view. This is where Krishna used to come and graze his cows. This is Gwalpukar. So many other places. I skipped a lot of things, lot of destinations and spots and temples and deities. So I ask for forgiveness from Govardhan, from devotees. But this is the end of our Parikrama. So we started from here. We went down like this. We came up to the Radha Kund, Sham Kund, and we finished back here. Typically, it is said that you finish back at Mansi Ganga, back at Mukharvind. And this is where you can see how many points we covered. I think we covered a lot of points. This is all I have to share. Thank you so much. Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki jai. Shri Radha Krishna, Radha Girivardhari ki jai. Kartik Maas ki jai. Govardhan Puja Diwali Mahamahotsav ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hey, Krishna.
All glories, all glories, all glories to Guru and Gauranga. Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Okay, so thank you for going on this this yatra with me. Anybody has any questions, any clarifications? I know it's a lot to remember. You don't have to remember anything. It's just purifying to hear. But the mood of this is not to remember things. The mood of this is to give you a taste of Govardhan and to give you this hankering that next time when you go, please go visit Govardhan Dham. It's a topmost servant of the Lord, Haridas Varya. It's none other than Krishna. It's the topmost spiritual abode as well. So it can give instant Krishna prem. Okay. Yes, please.
So, if you look at Govardhan, from the tail to the top, in the middle, and after that it flattens. Then the Radha comes. Is that because the Govardhan is going down?
Oh, why it's so low there? Like in a particular spot, why it's so low? I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why the structure is like that, Prabhu. Of course, you know that Govardhan used to be so tall that it said that Surya Dev's horses, the horses of his chariot used to take a dip in the kundas of Govardhan. It used to be so high. And of course, it is shrinking, and in another, I think, 10,000 years or so, it will level out completely.
There's a story by
Right. Prabhu, I know one story, but I don't know which one you're talking about. Oh, you're Samantaka Jewel. Samantaka Jewel. Yes, Prabhu. Samantaka Jewel, yes. It comes in the Krishna book, yes. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole story is there of Samantaka Jewel. Yes. Yeah. But Chintamani Jewel that I was thinking about was Sanatan Goswami's. So anyways, anybody else? Any other?
So I read, and before coming here, I was really wondering, Govardhan Puja is normally done after post Diwali.
Yes, Mati. Yes, 2 days after. So one day after, the next day. So this time it's a little weird because Monday is Diwali, but Govardhan Puja is Wednesday. Somehow Amavasya is on both days. Just because of on Monday and Tuesday, both days is Amavasya, Kartik Amavasya. But on Wednesday, we will celebrate Govardhan Puja. So this pastime happened the next day. So Govardhan Puja basically means where we do this Annakut, where we make hill out of all the prasadam that we have made. And if you have Govardhan Shila or Shaligram Shila, you can put on top of the hill and you do Parikrama around it in the same mood as if you were doing Parikrama at the Govardhan. Any other? Who wants to go to Govardhan? I want to go again. You can keep going as it doesn't satiate. Yeah, let's stop, I think. No, we'll do it during Parikrama. We have to. Yes. Okay, I'll stop.